Captain America Super Soldier was developed by Next Level Games and published by Sega back in 2011. If you've been watching some of my recent videos, you would know that Sega has put out a lot of garbage when it comes to Marvel games. But thankfully, Captain America Super Soldier is actually pretty decent. Let's start with the story. The game is somewhat based on the movie, although there are some differences, such as you start off already as Captain America, and Red Skull isn't really in the game all that much. So if you were expecting to have a big boss battle with him, prepare to be disappointed. With that said, you'll encounter other bosses such as Von Strucker, Iron Cross, and Madam Hydra. You'll also come across some familiar faces such as Bucky Barnes, James Fallsworth, and Dum Dum Dugan. That's a great name. Also making an appearance, we have Peggy Carter and Howard Stark, although you won't see them face to face. The biggest surprise going into this is Sega managed to get a bunch of the actors for this game. You have Chris Evans, Haley Atwell, Sebastian Stan, JJ Fields, and Neil McDonough. So the cast is pretty great. But I have to be honest, Chris Evans definitely went above and beyond. Obviously, he has the most dialogue, but for the most part, he actually does a really good job. I honestly don't think he was ever phoning it in. It definitely sounded like he wanted to be a part of this game. As far as gameplay goes, it's a lot, and I mean a lot of fun. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit because I played Iron Man and Thor, but damn, the combat was great in this. You honestly feel like Captain America. His punches feel like they have impact, his shield actually has weight to it, and most of the animations are really well done. Sure, they become a bit repetitive, but once you start unlocking things and becoming more experienced with the system, you can do some pretty great moves. The boss battles also make you switch up your combat style from time to time, which was a welcome change. With that being said though, some of the boss battles are still disappointing. For me personally, it was Madam Hydra. She has a decent lead up to her fight, so I was excited to finally face her, but sadly she was bugged at first, so I had to restart the game. And after that, I realized the boss battle was just bouncing her bullets right back at her with my shields, which is cool, but that's basically the entire fight, and it drags on way too long. Also, talking about negatives, I have to point out the frame rate. It drops in the low 20s during cutscenes and when there's a lot happening on screen. It's not as bad as Thor, for example, but I could definitely notice it at times. It's kind of weird because this isn't the most graphically impressive game for its time. I mean, it's alright, and Captain America looks great, but some textures are pretty bad and generic. I know this may sound stupid, but one thing that really annoyed me was the way you would just unlock doors in this game. Basically, you have two sets of numbers on your screen, and you try to match up a number that they both have in common. Most of these were extremely easy, and it felt like it was just there to make the game a little extra longer. Mission designs are alright, they're not bad, but certainly nothing special. Most of the time, you'll just enter one area, fight a bunch of enemies, rinse, repeat. But thankfully, the combat system is fun, so it's not that big of an issue. The game also features a surprising amount of parkour. It's just a series of QuickTime events, but I think it's alright. They do become more apparent as you progress further in the game, so I feel like some people will find them annoying, but I didn't really have an issue with them. The skill tree, on the other hand, is pretty disappointing. I think there's a total of 9 things you can unlock. It would have been cool to see like more special moves, maybe faster sprinting, and something to make your shield come back a little quicker. These would have been fun to unlock, and I'm sure there could have been better things that they could have come up with. 9 is pretty disappointing. The story took about 6 hours to beat, which is sad, but at the same time, I felt like it was alright for the story they were trying to tell. As I say with most of these videos, another unique boss battle, or maybe two, would have been appreciated, but they didn't drag on the story, which is also kind of nice. As far as extra content goes, there is 3 different outfits you can unlock. These are actually good outfits, but only having 3 is disappointing. I mean, Thor technically had more outfits, and you could change his lightning. No, but seriously, they're pretty good outfits, but come on, just 3. There's also a gallery featuring some pretty cool artwork and behind the scenes stuff. Film reels will give a bit of background information into the story and characters, but overall, the bonus content is pretty weak. They definitely should have thrown in some Captain America comics instead of having you collect these random things in the map. Overall, this game is one of the better Marvel games. Is it the best out there? No way. But is it a fun action game where you actually feel like a superhero? Yes. Playing through this definitely makes me want a new Captain America game. I don't think Chris Evans would do a voiceover nowadays, but I'm sure they could easily find someone else. Anyways, that was Captain America Super Soldier. Let me know in the comments down below which game I should play through next, and I'll see you all later.